All right, welcome back to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. And I'm Steve, hello, and Happy New Year to everyone. It's Sunday here, the first week of the year, and a couple little announcements. In some shameless self-promotion, I released the first video today of Academania, and that's a 5-part series, all Academy kits, Academy of South Korea. And kicked off today with the 172, with one exception, they're all 172 kits, and it's the 172 Hawker Tempest. And so I'll put a card up for it, and hope you'll slide over and take a look at it. The other thing is celebration of, I checked this morning, and 304 subscribers, so I broke the 300 mark. Thank you very much to everyone. I really appreciate everybody's support, and I appreciate everyone's time that they spend on the channel. I hope you find it interesting and informative. So I already have this one, the Sd.kfz.223 Leichter Panzerspahwagen 4x4 Africa Corps version. As I've said before, Sd.kfz stands for Special Purpose Vehicle, and Leichter is light, Panzer is armored, Spa is reconnaissance, and Wagen is vehicle. So it's a Leichter Panzerspahwagen. And it's pretty cool. It's got 2 crew members and a guy on a motorcycle, comes with the motorcycle. And also includes photo etch parts, as well as an aluminum gun barrel. That's pretty cool. So I did a review on that. I'll put up a card on that. And so, yeah, this one arrived today, and it's the Sd.kfz.223 Leichter Panzerspahwagen FU. And I believe the FU is not, now you guys, come on. This was the upgraded 80-watt radio version that was often used as a command car. And so it had the radio range was much longer, I think up to 300 kilometers. Sorry, that was, that's a mistake. Pay no attention to that. 300 kilometers was the driving range. And so anyways, yeah, so here we are, and we get the usual Tamiya. This was tooled in 1975 with new parts. I expect that's when the photo etch was added. New parts in 2003. And but that doesn't mean the parts have been lying around since 2003. I mean, Tamiya sells so many of these kits still. They're always pretty much new parts. And so, yeah, so we get the nice box art, Tamiya. This only shows one figure, but I believe there was a total of 3. I'm not sure what's included in the kit, though. It's Tamiya catalog number 35268. And it's looking like there's just the one figure. So you get a profile here of the vehicle and a close-up with the figure. And then on the other side of the box, they show some other vehicles in the series. The 135 Kubelwagen. I've already got 2, one in 172, one in 148. So I'm resisting getting one of these. And they've got a couple of other models as well. So, all right. So without further ado, let's crack her open. I didn't do a history bit on this up front because Tamiya is usually very good at providing that in the instructions. So we'll take this off. I'm going to turn this off, get a little less glare hopefully. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Obviously this is the top, nicely detailed. There's some nice grading here, latches. Unfortunately these are all closed up. I suppose you could cut them out if you wanted to. But basically the surface was fairly clean. You know, there wasn't a lot of junk. Okay, so we got that. And then, of course, this will be the base, the undercarriage, the underside. And got some nice detail there. They put the engine here in this, I believe, would be in the rear. The 221 had a front engine, and then after that they went to the rear engine. Yeah, so there's some decent detail there. Of course, nothing on the inside, no need for that. See how this goes together. Yeah, the engine's in the rear here. This is the front of the vehicle, and then the engine's in the rear, and this is probably for radiation. I don't know. Anyways. Okay, and so let's take a look and see it. Look at the sprues here. So we got bag number 1 has 2 sprues, and bag number 2 has 2 sprues. There are no clear parts. You get some rope for the winch, which is nice. That's a nice touch. Got that too on the 222 kit as well. And this photo etch it's pretty basic, which is fine with me. But yeah, this is like the cope cage goes over top and the antenna. So yeah, so there you go. We've got a decal set. Famous Tamiya staples. No one really understands why they keep doing it with staples, but I guess it works for them, being one of the leading manufacturers in the business for decades. And so we'll see what we got in here. Alright, yeah, pretty typical Tamiya decals. We've got Wehrmacht and SS. I don't think we'll be using the SS. And it looks like we've got Africa Corps as well as other decals. For the 222, that's Africa Corps. This came along well. I mean, they were all manufactured from about 1938 onward. But yeah, the 223 came on a little later in the war and served later in the war. The 222 was pretty much out of business by 1943. I guess coincidentally around the same time that the Germans got kicked out of North Africa. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we've got here. We got a nice separate instruction sheet on the photo etch, how to cut it and how to fold it or bend it, how to apply it. You know, This I can deal with. You know, the stupid little pedals in the bottom of the cockpit. No, thanks. Sorry, guys. But anyways, gives you the recommended tools for the job. Instant cement, modeling knife, metal primer, and oh, now I gotta go to the shop and get some Tamiya metal primer. Anyways, I think I got some other stuff that'll work. Okay, so there's that. And then there's the tech tips, which come with every Tamiya kit now, I believe. And this is great for the beginner or novice modeler. Shows you all different techniques and how to do things. Very basic stuff, but hey, you got to start somewhere. And as always with Tamiya, we get Japanese instructions and English instructions, which is nice. And then on the inside of the bottom of the box here is just all the legal stuff. So, okay, so now let's get into these sprue bags. Alright, so again with the staples. I did a little different video the other day on the Atlantis Mac 1926 Mac AC truck. I put that up for the entertainment of Terry at Hobby Barn. He's having some health challenges now and thought he could probably use a bit of entertainment. And oh, that was another little milestone of the channel. It was my first real, proper live stream. And so that was great. Peter Oxley joined us and a couple of other people. And Terry really appreciated the support and stuff. So, okay, so let's see what we got here. And we got some nice baggage. That's beautifully contoured. I mean, the detail here, unfortunately, my camera just doesn't do things justice. And I blow my budget on kits, not cameras. So, but yeah, you know, we've got a few different bundles here, rolled up blankets or tarp, whatever. And I guess it's probably camouflage net. I think this is the radio panel, and it's beautifully detailed. Let me see if I can, yeah, you can't, shoot. Let me see if it's better if I turn this off. There you go, that's a little better. Lots of dials and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it looks like a radio communication set for sure. And we got three helmets here. Commander. He half a commander. You know, so it is what it is. I mean, most companies do stuff that way. I mean, he just sits in there. There's no point to have his legs sticking down. That's one way I guess they keep these reasonably priced. And you know, then we've got some canteens here. Water or gas cans, a little crate of something. This looks like a mess bowl or a wash bowl. And so yeah, that's pretty nice. And oh, no flash, like zero flash. Okay, I'm not even kidding. I mean, like there's like a teeny bit here on just the very rim of the helmets, but I mean everything else is just perfect. I mean, Tamiya, you're my girl, love ya. Okay, and so here, okay. Here we've got spare tire, spare wheel, spare tire. Well, whole spare wheel, I guess. And here's the antenna cage at the top, and the cupola. And we've got another figure here. I think this is the motorcycle rider. And this looks like it might be the hatches in the front. Maybe and in the sides too. There's a hook here. Headlamps. There's the machine gun. I think this had the MG34 machine gun in the later models. But yeah, everything's beautiful. Whatever this little piece is, it looks like it might need a bit of trimming, but otherwise looks great. Nothing bent, nothing broken. And box has a little crease here on the side, here. But everything's intact. You know, it didn't really get smashed or anything. Just came in one of those regular Amazon gray envelopes. And so we move to sprue number 2. Oh, and speaking of Peter Oxley, a gentleman and a scholar, we had a laugh at the live stream because his cat, Pee-wee, seemed to be very fascinated with the movement of my hands, and sat on Mrs. Oxley's, a queen among women, on Mrs. Oxley's lap while she watched the live stream. So that was kind of cool. And Pee-wee, a very nice looking cat, a tabby cat like our Jack. Other than the fact that they're an ocean away, he's too old and he's fixed. Huh. Anyways. Oh, for heaven's sake. There. No wonder people kind of go grrr about the staples. Hard time. Okay, so here we go. We got a little bit of blistering here, but you know, all the parts are real sturdy and everything, so I'm not too concerned about that. And so, let's see, yeah, obviously we've got the 4 wheels. It's 4-wheel drive, 4x4 vehicle. So it has the locking hubs there. And this is the storage compartment on the side. More hatches here. These look like some kind of antennae. And this is how the wheels go together. We got more hooks here. We got a shovel on this to go on the side. More hatch covers. Very nicely detailed model. And you know, there's tread on the tires. And again, like on this sprue, I see zero flash. Like I mean zero. The shovel here is perfect. These little antennae, they're perfect because this is where you usually get it, just in the, you know. And oh my goodness, I'm impressed. I don't know why I should be surprised at Miss Tamiya. She's a beautiful lady. Okay, so yeah, and then here it looks like we've got suspension, I don't know what you call these things of the frame. Sorry guys, I was never an automotive person. And we have a very detailed drivetrain here with axles front and rear. And so, yeah, very nice. Oh, very nice. My goodness. We got the manifold or exhaust pipes. Manifold pipes, I guess. No, exhaust pipes. They must be because you can't see them. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Nice detail on the grill here. I don't know if you can see that. I got to do something about the lighting here. I have a friend who works in the movie business as a set decorator. Maybe I'll talk to her about it. Okay, yeah, up here in British Columbia, the movie business is huge, and movies, TV series, all kinds of stuff. The first Rambo movie, First Blood, that was filmed in and around Hope, BC. There's still a statue of Rambo there, and the bridge is still there, the famous bridge that he was walking across, or that he was sent across and then walked back on. It's absolutely beautiful country. I mean, if you like rocks and rivers and trees and that kind of stuff, man, you got to go to Hope. Right up against the Rocky Mountains. Dang. It's the only thing about Hope is that in the wintertime you don't see the sun until the afternoon because it's so low in the sky that it doesn't get up over the mountains till later in the day. Otherwise, fabulous, beautiful place. They have some nice restaurants there, and it's just a small little town. But yeah, some nice little restaurants there, and totem poles, all different, and all sorts of different, hand carved and what do you call it, chainsaw carved, wood sculptures. Yeah, if you're ever up this way, check it out. Okay, so let's get into the instructions. We've got a fold out. There it is. And my goodness, there's a big write-up here. All of this, it's all English. Tamiya is so good at this. And I know this is a beef, especially about the Asian manufacturers, or the other Asian manufacturers other than Japanese manufacturers. The Japanese are great at stuff like this. They do the research, they put it down. Of course, you know, I mean, it's been around since the 70s, so it's no big deal for them. But you get companies like, you know, Meng and Academy. They don't give you anything. Not even, hardly ever. You might get a little tiny blurb about it, but you don't get any kind of background context or anything like that. Tamiya always gives you the whole 9 yards. And I see here these instructions are copyright 1977. And so I'll just read a little bit of it here, just for interest. I kind of, you know, gave you the overview already, but and this is another great thing about Tamiya. Well, you'll see. Those who are going to enjoy a sport or game will hope to know what sort of a man their opponent is, and take interest in his physique and condition. In actual war for the independence of the country or the freedom of people, apart from movie and television stories of spies and secret underground agents, it forms an important part of fighting to collect information about the enemy. It is the reconnaissance battalion that performed such a very risky and important mission on the ground. And so, rather than just the history, I mean, come on, it's yeah, yeah, I mean, I see. Anyways, I'm a writer. I've done professional writing. I had 3 years of college and 2 years of university in journalism and literature. Anyways, so sorry if I'm gushing a bit here, guys, but I mean, they start you off. It's not just about the vehicle, and it's about the role that this kind of vehicle has played, and they go on to talk about the reconnaissance mission from cavalry with superior mobility, and you know, and after horses started to get faded out, then they needed to find alternatives for fast reconnaissance, advanced reconnaissance. And so again, as we've seen with Nazi Germany, they did everything they could to work around and eventually outright defy the armaments restrictions placed on it. And so they developed all these kind of mechanized vehicles. But another thing people don't realize is, yes, the Germans, we see all about their mechanization, but really only about 30 to 40% of their forces were mechanized. The rest was still horses. I mean, the horses, they just continued to play a role again and again forever. And so, anyways, so you know, they talk about being the eyes of the division, and so then we get down to the actual vehicle, and the Leichter Panzerspahwagen 223 was a light armed vehicle, carried a machine gun on the low silhouette open top turret. In addition, MP38, I think I might have said 34, but it's an MP38 machine pistol and signal pistol were used as standard equipment. Carried a crew of 3. In this kit, they only give you 1, but at this point, I have lots of extra figures. Yeah, so driver sat in the front, and radio operator was on the rear left. So driver sat here, commander was here, and then the radio operator, oh joy, he got to sit back right near the engine. How about that? It's interesting the way they put this. Standard vehicles carried a wireless telephone and 30-watt medium-wave wireless apparatus, the FU-8, which is why we get the FU in brackets. Had a coverage of 50 kilowatts, consisted of transmitter, receiver, and the power source. That's why we saw 3 different blocks on the radio set. Frequency range 1130 to 3000 kilocycles. Some vehicles used by the signal platoon of the regimental headquarters had an ultra-shortwave wireless apparatus, the FU-7, which could be used even in communication with aircraft. And yeah, that was one of the reasons that, I mean, aside from, you know, coming from a place that France never expected. It was a big reason why the Germans were able to defeat the French army, even with all their tanks. They had communication, and in their tank platoons, in their tank divisions, they had radios, so it was much easier for them to communicate and coordinate. In the first half of World War II, when German tank troops took the leadership in battle and swept over the European continent, German armored radio cars not only fulfilled the important mission to feel the enemy, but also, or I guess that should probably be feel out the enemy, but also contributed through their radio net toward bringing out a closer union of fighting power of all arms of service, which was indispensable to modern warfare. And yeah, there's no getting over it. I mean, the Nazi Germans pioneered the modern way of warfare. The integrated, multi-layered, whatever you call it, communication and coordination across all the various branches. That's NATO standard now. And so here's another very cool thing that they do. I'll show you the light. There it is. Yeah. So they put this graphic in here. Organization of 5th Light Division, later 21st Division, 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion, mechanized, 1940-41. So they're actually giving you how how an entire division was made up. You've got the battalion HQ, you've got the and all the different types of vehicles, 222s, 223s, 1st platoon, 2nd platoon. So, I mean, for the guys out there who are really into authenticity and matching everything, then they even note here, in the 3rd platoon was a Kuba wagon and 12 VWs. I guess that's the, the 3rd platoon was Kuba wagon platoon. 12 Kuba wagons, Volkswagens, and 2 trucks. For some reason, I'm really nerding out on this tonight. I mean, this is the first time I really looked at this. Even after I ordered the kit, when I went on ScaleMates, I looked at the instructions, but I didn't really look at the write-up. And so this is great, because Tamiya doesn't always do this. We get a sprue map right up front. Not only that, we get a parts list. And then there's little notes to read before assembly, read the instructions, which everyone can do for themselves. And then we get right down to the assembly. Step 1, drivetrain goes to the, I don't know, do you call those rails? I don't know. Anyways, goes on to the base. And then we move over. And turn this on. Is that better? Not really. Okay. They give you the sub-assemblies here for the jerry cans. They show you how to paint the rope, where it goes, all that fine stuff. And then here it gets a little more complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, this goes here, these go there, these go here, da-da-da-da-da. It's all very simple and straightforward. Did I miss some steps? Yeah, I missed a bunch of steps. Sorry, guys. Back up a bit. Yeah, so then, and again, beautiful sub-assemblies here. And, you know, blow-ups of the sub-assemblies. Putting the wheels onto the axles. Ta-da, ta-da. The top. Step 5. Painting the figure. Fixing the upper hull parts, the what do you call it, the photo etch, etc., etc., etc. And then at the end here we have all the little doodads. Oh, and those weren't antennas; they were posts for the antenna. And then we got the water bottles that go on the side. Helmets, the wash stand, all the accoutrements, as Captain Kirk would say. And then we get to the back about painting and applying the decals. And then we get a very nice picture of it's a black and white photo of the completed model. I mean, hey, Tamiya. And I'll have to check, but I think this was like $35 or $36. Prime shipping, free. I mean, come on. Hey. Everybody's looking all over for value. Everybody's looking for a bargain. Entertainment that'll stretch your dollar. This is the hobby. People who've watched my channel and who kind of know me, you know, I'm very passionate about this hobby. It's just great in so many ways. All right, so now it comes to rating time. Don't be surprised about the score here because, well, as you've heard, I kind of gushed about this kit. I like it even better than the 222 kit that comes with the motorcycle and extra figures. So, anyways, again, I'll put up a card on how I rate a kit. Basically, 2 points for packaging, 2 points for screws, 3 points for parts, 3 points for instructions, quarter point bonus per category for any wow factor, excuse me, and up to 1 point for value. The way I look at value is not just the cost of the kit, but I factor in how many hours of entertainment I expect to get out of it. So, for packaging, everything was good. 2 full points. There we go. Sorry, guys. So yeah, packaging, 2 full points. The box wasn't perfect. There was a little crease to it, but there were no punctures, and everything looks nice and smooth. No plastic wrapping around the box, but that's pretty normal for Tamiya, especially with their older kits. And just came in a regular gray Amazon envelope, which seemed to be sufficient. Although I would have liked to have seen one of the, you know, padded paper envelopes. But anyways, everything came, everything arrived, it was all perfect. So that's what we look for. Sprues get a full 2 points. Everything was complete. You know, virtually no flash, especially considering all the tiny parts. Uh, there were no molding flaws, bubbles, holes, nubs, recesses where they shouldn't be, ejection pin marks. Everything was beautifully tooled. Why not keep selling it? I mean, come on. It's yeah. So as I always say, just because something's old, it doesn't mean it's not good. As a matter of fact, a lot of older stuff is better than what they're putting out now, especially from Chinese manufacturers. Okay, and then so for the parts, on the sprues, they get an extra quarter point for like zero flash for all intents and purposes. So get a little wow factor on that. For parts, the quality of the plastic was great, as always with Tamiya. Detail, always exceptional. There were no warped or broken parts. Decals, nothing spectacular, but sufficient for what's necessary. Quarter point extra for the photo etch. That's a nice bonus. No aftermarket parts, but yeah. Instructions were great. The only thing you could say is, and yeah, this is Tamiya, especially with their older kits. They don't provide color instructions, but their painting instructions are excellent, and especially with a kit like this, it's pretty much two colors. With a bit of accents that you might want to put on it, or weathering. So I'll probably be using the Tamiya Dark Yellow, which was the Dark Yellow was the standard, not only for Africa Corps but for later in the war, regardless of the theater. Of course, by then they'd been, we're talking Europe, because most other places the Nazis had been kicked out of there. Yeah, and a quarter point for the historical notes. That's a wow factor. They went beyond just the service of this particular vehicle, but they went into the history of reconnaissance and how it evolved, and that's pretty cool stuff. Not only that, we had the little schematic of how a reconnaissance division was constituted, and what the various different parts of it. Not many other manufacturers do that kind of thing. And the ones that do, they charge premium, and they should. Okay, so so we got 3 1/4 points there, and I said how much the kit costs, so that's a half point bonus, if not a little more. But like in a lot of things, I'm conservative, except when I'm libertarian. So a full half point there. That brings us to 11.25 out of 12. And might not be the highest rated kit ever, but I think it's tied. And I'm not going to say the one that it was tied with at this point, because it's part of Academania. And you'll be seeing that kit. So, yeah, like I say, I'm even more impressed with this kit than I was with the 222. Even though it's a bit smaller, we do get 2 figures. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we got 2 figures, but no motorcycle. No wonder the guy didn't look like he was going to be riding a motorcycle. Yeah, okay, so good stuff. There you go. So another kit review from Steve, and the builds are coming, not to worry. I already started on the little 176 vintage classic tractor and 88mm gun, and that's coming along. I'm learning how to stitch together videos, and so I won't have to be doing everything in like 3-4 parts. So that's the end of this video. We're coming up to 45 minutes plus. Hope everyone's enjoyed it, and again, thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks to everyone who spends time with my channel. Please leave comments. I appreciate comments. I appreciate the support that I get. And who doesn't like compliments, when you get them? So, yeah, I appreciate the support and encouragement of everyone. And more than anything, like I said, I appreciate the time everyone spends with my channel and my voice. So, thanks again. And we'll be seeing you throughout January with Academania, as well as some kit builds. So have a great evening.